Adana Kambi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinlabi Holder, and it's nice to be here. We're starting a new work week off. I hope that you got rested. I know yesterday was Mother's Day and there were a number of celebrations, but I hope you got rested and you're ready to tackle this week with energy and vigor and determination.
That's right indeed. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the men of the Victory Outreach Church. Yesterday they really showed the mothers a really good Mother's Day celebration, and I must say thank you to all the men, and I hope all the mothers across Trinidad and Tobago, and especially you, our viewers, I do hope that you had an amazing Mother's Day yesterday, Mother's Day celebration yesterday with your loved ones, and as we press forward to the week, the love that was shared, let us take that love into this week as we go on doing our duties. Akilabi, what was the weekend like for you outside of Mother's Day? There were a lot of other things happening on the island. What was your weekend like?
Well, it was pretty quiet. I didn't do anything outside of Mother's Day. I went to church on Mother's Day. We treated the ladies in the church. On Saturday, I did some work with the church as well on Saturday. So it was really a church-focused weekend for me.
So you're all churched up and ready to go for this week.
Yes.
Bless God for that. Bless God for that. Before we begin our conversations this morning in studio, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, May 12, 2025. Alarm in Speyside turned violent when Alan Taylor, 49, allegedly stabbed two men following a series of escalating confrontations. Police reports stated Taylor of Main Road, Speyside, was initially slapped by a man known as Liebeck. After retaliating, Taylor was later attacked with bottles by Aloy and Daylon Crooks. Armed with a knife, Taylor allegedly stabbed Daylon under his left armpit and Aloy in the abdomen. Both victims were stabilized at Roxburgh Hospital, then transferred to the Scarborough General. Taylor is currently detained at the Roxburgh Police Station, with police continuing investigations. Commissioner Earl Yearwood Christopher can return to duty after the DPP found no evidence of criminal probe into her role in the importation of sniper rifles for the Strategic Service Agency, which has concluded with no charges recommended. Her suspension imposed in February must now be lifted for her to serve the final days of her term, which ends on May 14th. The High Court will rule on the suspension validity today. The investigation also involved retired SSA head Roger Best, who remains under scrutiny for unrelated matters. Investigators face internal resistance, with some officers refusing to cooperate and one team member allegedly pursuing witnesses. And finally, effective May 12, 2025, Trinidad and Tobago nationals must obtain a visa to enter or transit through Ireland, aligning Ireland's policy with the UK. The government of Ireland's Department of Justice made the announcement on May 9th. The Irish Department of Justice announced transitional provisions for emergency travel until May 31st for those with bookings made before May 12th. Acceptable reasons include medical emergencies, significant family events, education, employment, or business. Supporting documents are required, and requests must be sent to Becoming Visa Required at justice.eie. Minister for Justice and the Minister for State Migration stated that the change enhances border security and aligns with Ireland's evolving migration control. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Bianna, for our news there in 90 seconds. And interesting, yes, the news came out over the weekend that the COP, Earl Christopher Harewood, the charges, there was insufficient evidence, rather, and that she is approved to go back out to work, I assume, from today. And of course, heading on pre-retirement leave on the 14th of this said month. So basically 3 days in office. And we'll see what happens thereafter. I was trying to do a little bit of research to see how this is going to work out in terms of when she goes on pre-retirement leave, filling the position of a commissioner, because right now up to, I guess, today, it was filled by Mr. Benjamin.
Yes.
He was acting in the position,
Yes.
and so we're waiting to see now when she actually goes on pre-retirement leave, how the position is going to be filled, steps that are going to be taken, and how long, how soon before. Is it going to be just like a handover the baton? I don't know, the transition and having that position filled and how long the vacancy will stay there. But it is what it is. I don't know, what are your opinions or thoughts or any information you have gathered where that is concerned?
Well, I haven't gathered any information as in terms of is it that it's just going to be a matter of transition with Mr. Benjamin as Miss Christopher is leaving, but we'll just wait and see how it is that it plays out, or if it is that the government have to now do a new recommendation.
For me, Adana, there's a burning question in my mind as to how, if the DPP himself, the office of the DPP, has determined that there is insufficient evidence, then how was she charged in the first place? Because if I recall, I think the police has to go to the DPP with the
And that's the
evidence for
thing.
instructions to charge.
And that's the thing.
So how did she get charged in the first place with sufficient evidence, and now the evidence is
insufficient.
It's magically insufficient.
And I think it's in February this occurred, right? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, in February, between
Between
February
February
and
and
March.
Suspension was imposed.
Yeah,
in February.
how
You
is
know,
that possible?
So, questions to be answered. We really have to pay attention, because sometimes, something slip under the carpet.
Yes.
We know that has happened, and now we know that this is happening. They're saying insufficient evidence. But we really, as you rightfully said, Akinlabi, go back to the history of the thing, the beginning of the thing,
Yes.
to see how it actually started. And we need to start asking these questions, what transpired between the time given the instructions to now given actually the opposite instruction. To relieve her, being that there is insufficient evidence. So we're hoping to see some responses from that, and hopefully our reporters can dig deeper and get some more information for us to discuss further here on this show this morning. All right, Brianna, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We do hope that you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love celebrating with you. And this morning we say happy birthday to Mrs. Celeste Hart Washington. We do hope that you have an amazing birthday. And as a photographer, I could tell that this photo had a concept. It's not just a regular shregular, like the photos I might take, Akinlabi. So I want to say happy birthday to you. I see the concept here. We do hope that you continue taking beautiful photographs, and that you are photographed beautifully as well. So happy birthday to you, and God's richest blessings upon your life.
And we carry on the happy birthday celebrations, and we wish happy birthday to Miss Thais Lord. Miss Thais Lord, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. We wish you God's richest blessings. We see that big, broad smile that you have there, and we hope that you carry that smile into today's celebrations. You spend it with friends and family. You're showered with amazing gifts, and you take time out to reflect on your life and thank God for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon you. Happy birthday, Miss Lord.
And our final celebrant this morning on our birthday shout-out list is Dr. Denise Sawyerfat Angus. Happy birthday to you, celebrating Mother's Day yesterday and birthday today. I hope you get a double dose of the love and the presents. Of course, ladies, we like to get gifts on our special day, so I do hope that you were able to enjoy that as well. And if you know anything about Dr. Angus, she's a party goer. She like to shake her two leg. And so you're seeing here, no doubt here, that she was at this event. And I do hope that you continue to celebrate the good times and continue to give God praise and thanks for His life. So we wish you a very, very happy birthday, Dr. Angus. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday or any other celebration at all, even though we don't have your photographs, of course, we join in the celebrations with you, because we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good celebration. But we also remind you to put God first, because He is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. All right, Akinlabi, who are we having on this morning?
All right, so on this morning, we're going to have a couple of extended interviews, Adana. And first up, we're going to have Mr. Haran Ramkaran Singh, who is the Director of Legal Services at the Equal Opportunity Commission, and he's going to be speaking to us about the equal opportunity rules and functions. And also we're going to have on Inspector Kathleen Sterling of the TTPS, and she's going to give us some updates on the TTPS Community Partnership.
That's right. That's right. So you do want to stay and be a part of the conversation. Remember, as we speak to the Equal Opportunities Act, you want to get that information as well. And we do hope that we get your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel. Feel free to leave your comments. You can even ask your questions as we have the conversation. We want you to be a part of it. We want you to be in the know, and we want to know what you want to know so that we can ask the questions for you as well. Well, it's Monday morning and you might be wondering what's in my cup. What's in my cup is sponsored by LCJ Delights, and this morning I'm drinking cocoa shell bay leaf tea. Can you imagine tea made from cocoa shell and bay leaf this morning? And it really is nice and warm and cozy this morning, coming from LCJ Delights. They are located at the Signal Hill Micro Enterprise units. There you can check them out for your teas, for your porridges, for your flour to make your pancakes and your waffles, and even your premium blend of mixed nuts. So thank you, LCJ Delights. Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire program this morning. We really appreciate you, and to all our mothers out there, we do hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. Fathers, we will celebrate you as well when the time comes around. But what we want you to do is, spread the love, share some joy, spread the love, be there for each other, be each other's helper, look out for each other, and be kind to one and all. We have to go for a short break before we begin conversations here in studio this morning, and as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but the children, cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
When spirit it, me a beat and roll. What to do? Let me see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm overeating. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm over.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we have on the line with us this morning Mr. Haran Ramkaran, who is the Director Legal Services of the Equal Opportunities Commission. He's here to speak with us about the equal opportunity roles and function. Good morning, Mr. Ramkaran.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to everyone in Tobago.
Okay, Mr. Ramkaran. So we want to start off, get straight into the interview and start off one time. So just tell us, what is the Equal Opportunities Commission all about?
Well, the Equal Opportunity Commission is a public body. It is created by an act of parliament, the Equal Opportunity Act. That act was passed in 2000. Its purpose is to prohibit certain kinds of discrimination and to create an avenue by which persons who have suffered that discrimination can get redress. So the Act applies to discrimination in four broad categories. It applies to discrimination in employment, in education, in the provision of goods and services, and the provision of accommodation. And right here, I just need to stick a pin. It applies to both the public sector and the private sector. So, for example, the ombudsman, I'm just drawing a parallel example. The ombudsman only applies to acts and decisions of public bodies and public authorities. But the Equal Opportunity Commission, you can lodge a complaint if you are employed, whether you're employed by a public body or a private sector body. Similarly, if you believed you were denied goods and services by a private sector body, I'm just making an example, such as a bank, you can lodge a complaint with us. So yes, we are empowered to receive complaints in these four broad areas, but the complaint must be tied or correlated to personal and inherent characteristics known as status grounds. Whenever, for example, we do public education sessions, we always throw out to persons, well, think, what are the grounds on which you could be discriminated against? Well, the Act protects 7 grounds. These are your race, your ethnicity, your religion, your sex, your origin, your marital status, and your disability. So just to put it in context, if you believe you were discriminated in your job because of your race or your religion or your origin or your sex, the discrimination could be something as not, are you receiving a differential salary to somebody else? And you believe this differential in salary is because of your sex? Is someone of a different, someone who is of a different race or religion got promoted ahead of you? But again, it's not just a matter of they got promoted ahead of you, but you have to believe that was a deciding factor, because all of us sitting, all of us as Trinidadians and Tobagonians, we're very diverse people. We come from different backgrounds. We might have, we have different, we have different genders, we have different religions. So just because, say, I got promoted ahead of you doesn't necessarily mean that you were discriminated against, because of one of these characteristics. But you have to be able to show that these characteristics inform the decision to promote that person ahead of you.
And how do you, Mr. Ramkaran, how do you determine if you were discriminated against? Because sometimes people kind of use discrimination and victimization interchangeably.
Yes.
How do you determine the differences, and how could you decide I have been discriminated against, or perhaps this is victimization? How do you differentiate the two?
Well, generally it helps if you have what are called comparators. That is to say, part of the essence of discrimination is that certain persons or person was treated better than you. Let us use the example of suppose an organization put out a job but they didn't hire anybody into the job. Then it might be difficult to say that you were discriminated against because they didn't really hire anybody. But if it is they hired someone and you feel that person, what you have to look at is how do you compare to that person. So there was a case that we had that was sent to the tribunal, and I will come in a minute to say what the tribunal is. but it was a case where a person was able to show that another person was promoted ahead of him, but that person did not have the academic qualifications that he did. Now, in that case, what the tribunal looked at is that they felt that there was now an onus, not a burden, but an onus on the employer to respond and explain, well, can you explain what happened here? And if it is the employer cannot give a convincing explanation, the tribunal found, well, perhaps then the only explanation was that there is no good reason, or well, in that case, it was a case of race discrimination. So that is how sometimes you're able to prove discrimination, by looking at how you were treated or vis-a-vis someone else, or vice versa, if that person got better treatment than you. With respect to victimization, people, they do complain to us a lot about victimization, but they do it in the ordinary sense of the word, in that, someone who had power or authority over them was probably malicious and abusive towards them, and thus they felt like a victim. But really and truly, victimization under the Equal Opportunity Act is very specific. It has to be where you took steps under the Act to enforce your rights, and because of that, you were now treated detrimentally. Your employer, most complaints we get are in the context of employment. So your employer retaliated against you. So after you did these things, perhaps you were supposed to get a promotion, or perhaps you were supposed to be sent on a conference, or get some training opportunity or some benefit, or any benefit it could be. Maybe it was that you were supposed to be moved into a nicer office, or the converse. After you lodged this complaint or you did this, they moved your office so that you had a nice office, and now they put you somewhere in a back room with just a desk and a chair. So in other words, you have to show some kind of detriment that befell on you, consequent or after you did these things.
Okay, and Mr. Ramkaran Singh, sorry.
Yeah.
How does one file a complaint with the Equal Opportunities Commission? And just run us through the steps of what takes place after that complaint has been filed.
Well, you can file a complaint online using our website, www.equalopportunity.gov.tt. People always say equal opportunities, but we're singular, so it's equal opportunity. For persons in Tobago, we have an office day once per month, so that normally on the third Friday of every month, we are at the Division of Health and Wellness on Montessori Drive in Scarborough. So sometimes we may have challenges if we are a government entity, and sometimes we have problems procuring plane tickets. It is what it is. So we always advise you to check our website or check our social media to make sure that we're there. So you can come in on that day. If you need help filling out a form, we can help you. But at the same time, you can also, as I said, do it from the privacy of your home at any time of the day or night. On using our website, you just fill out a form and you just press click. When a complaint is lodged, it comes to the legal unit. So we would assess the complaint. If we have questions, we will contact you and say, well, we'd like you to provide us with this. Sometimes we would ask you, could you send us documents that you might have? It's open to you if you want to mail it in, or if you want to scan it and send it to us by email. We're trying to become more technologically savvy to be more accessible to people. So yes, and then an officer will contact you and will try to schedule an interview with you. For example, I know, for example, we do have certain interviews scheduled with persons from Tobago, not this month, but next month coming, when we come on the third Friday. So we can schedule it in person, or we can schedule it using an online platform, Microsoft Teams or Zoom, or a simple teleconference, depending on how complex the matter is. So we try to be as accessible to you as you would prefer. So once we interview you, we might have more questions for you. Based on that, we then make a decision as to whether or not we are going to proceed with the investigation. That is to say, to write the respondent. Unlike other authorities, I would use the example of the OSH authority, which was simply they have inspectors that might just turn up at a place of business and say we're here to inspect the premises for health and safety issues. That is not our modus operandi. We are empowered to write the respondent, that is the person against whom you've lodged a complaint, or any other party for that matter, and say, look, we have received this complaint. we must give them due process. Recently we had a complainant who asked, well, could you keep my identity confidential? Now, we do not, if you lodge a complaint with us, we keep it confidential from the point of view, we don't share it to the world at large. We don't put it out in a newspaper report that so-and-so has lodged a complaint. But when it comes to the respondent, in fairness to them and in due process to them, we would need to tell them, well, so-and-so has lodged this complaint, and these are the allegations against you, and we would have to give them an opportunity to respond. So when we get the response, we will go through it. We will perhaps call you in for another meeting. And again, when I say meeting, it could be an in-person meeting. It could be an online meeting. And from there, we will decide if we have more questions. If we have more questions for the respondent, we do over the process again, that same process. Another option we would have is perhaps to bring the parties to the table for conciliation. So based on what we might have unearthed, we might say, well, perhaps this could be resolved by conciliation. Our primary remedy at the commission is really conciliation, where we bring the parties to the table to have a conversation. You know, in the past, people had asked, how much have we awarded or how much have we given? And the answer is no. Conciliation is really where you sit together at a table with the person to have a conversation and see what resolution you can reach. If it cannot be resolved, you may recall I had spoken a little while ago about an entity called the tribunal. Well, the tribunal is as another entity created by the Equal Opportunity Act. So the Equal Opportunity Act created two entities, the commission and the tribunal. We are sister institutions, but they are separate to and independent from us. They are chaired by a judge appointed by the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. So that is the commission that appoints all judges and magistrates in Trinidad and Tobago. And we can refer the matter there. And when it goes there for a hearing as if it were before a court. So whereas the process before the commission is free of charge, it is free to lodge a complaint, it is free to access our services. When you go before them, because they're a court, they have very technical rules of practice and procedure. You have to file your witness statements, your affidavits, your evidence, your arguments. So at that stage, you would need to be represented by an attorney, to navigate the legal process as it were. And when you go there, you're going for a hearing and a determination, and the judge will say either they agree with you, they disagree with you, and if they agree with you, what orders they can make against the respondent. So that is the process from beginning to end.
Very, 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 very detailed process there given to us this morning, Mr. Ramkaran Singh. We have to continue this conversation because I feel as if we're getting a lot of information from you this morning. But before we do that, we have to go for a short break and pay some bills, and we'll come right back with the conversation. So viewers, stay tuned with us as we continue this conversation with Mr. Ramkaran Singh. He's the director of the Equal Opportunity Commission, and we'll be right back after this break. But in the meantime, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam. You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we are continuing our conversation with Mr. Haran Ramkaran, the Director of Legal Services at the Equal Opportunities Commission. Mr. Ramkaran, I wanted to get back into something that you mentioned earlier. You spoke about the status grounds upon which somebody could claim to be discriminated against. Are there any sort of discussions or moves to have an expansion on those status grounds?
Well, yes. One of our mandates is to recommend amendments to the Equal Opportunity Act. So, for example, we have recommended to the Attorney General for quite some time now that age be included as a status ground, because currently it is not protected. For example, this was apparently an omission, but in the definition of marital status did not include cohabitees under the Cohabitational Relations Act. So we've asked that be amended. And we have also recommended that sexual orientation be added as a ground of protection, because what the Act currently protects is simply sex, which is discrimination on whether you're a man or a woman. An example of sex discrimination would be, there's always a classic case, is a woman being paid less than a man to do a certain job. But in the United Kingdom, just to stick a pin, it was held with the provisions that said that a woman could retire at 60 and get full benefits, and a man a man has to work until 65. That was also held to be sex discrimination. So the sex is, I always like to say that we don't always think that sex discrimination is about the woman being treated adversely. As long as there's a differential treatment between men and women, then that is sex discrimination in and of itself. So, but that does not include sexual orientation. What has happened though? The former Attorney General, Mr. Al-Rawi, had famously articulated in public that the government will not address any issues of sexual orientation until the Jason Jones court matter goes all the way to the Privy Council in England. Recently, just about 2 months ago, the Court of Appeal ruled on Jason Jones. Just to explain to the viewing public, Mr. Jason Jones filed a matter in the High Court challenging the laws that criminalized same-sex activity. And he was successful in the High Court in challenging those laws, but just about 2 months ago, the Court of Appeal overturned that and ruled against him. So the next step, and they have applied would be to take the matter to the Privy Council in England, and they are in the process of doing that. So that realistically, we don't expect anything to happen, at least on that recommendation, until perhaps the matter comes up in the Privy Council, which may be 2 years down the road.
And Mr. Ramkaran Singh,
Yep.
Have you seen, or has your organization seen, based on the recommendations, have they seen a prevalence of these types of discrimination taking place in Trinidad and Tobago based on age, sexual orientation? I can't remember what's the other recommendation though.
Cohabitation.
And cohabitation.
Yes. We have gotten complaints about age discrimination from the point of view of people being, this is also an interesting part of it. A mandatory retirement age is actually a form of age discrimination, because you're essentially telling somebody, we are terminating you because you have reached the age of 60, as opposed to saying we're terminating you because you're not capable or you're no longer competent to do the job. So that age discrimination is a much wider issue, because while we we don't want people to be terminated because of their age, but for example, most employment systems, whether you work, for example, in a bank or in the government service, there is the provision for a mandatory retirement at a certain age. So that is something that that the government would have to look at in a very nuanced way. We just can't rush into it. But yes, we have gotten complaints for one or two persons saying that they were told that they were too old for a job, but we said, unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do about that. And we have gotten complaints from persons who claim that they were discriminated based on their sexual orientation. But even with these complaints, we do try to sit with the person, although we can't formally investigate it, and try to perhaps, have a conversation with them and see, maybe help them see where the matter can go. And what I can say, especially with the complaints of sexual orientation, that we haven't really found that discrimination per se, based on what they told us when we interviewed them further. We would tell them initially that, it's not a matter we can handle, but perhaps if we can discuss it with you further. Sometimes there is an element of perception, that I perceive that this has happened to me, as opposed to saying that this actually happened to me.
Mr. Ramkaran Singh, I wanted to find out from you in terms of, you lodge these complaints with the hopes that there will be some sort of resolve to the clients who, in the event that you are unable to bring any type of solution or satisfy the client's complaints, what takes place there?
Well, a matter could be, for example, one of the ways a matter could be resolved is that upon investigating the matter, we may actually find that there's no clear evidence of discrimination. Many times, the complainant themselves, so sometimes what you have is really a case of what is called information asymmetry. That is to say, information is asymmetric, meaning one party has more information than the other. And coming out of the investigative process, a complainant may say, well, I better understand what took place. The questions that I have now been answered. I have greater clarity. So that in and of itself may be a form of resolution that the person has gotten. And the other form might be, well, we said, well, perhaps some form of maladministration took place, but there's no clear evidence that you were discriminated against. Because remember, we are dealing with discrimination based on your race, your ethnicity, your sex, your marital status. So again, that perhaps gives the person a form of resolution. Then, as I had mentioned, there's a process of conciliation where we try to bring the parties to the table to see whether they can reach an agreement between themselves. It is facilitated by an in-house mediator who is licensed with the Mediation Board of Trinidad and Tobago. But to repeat, this person does not adjudicate on the matter. She doesn't tell the person, you are right or you are wrong. But in the process of conciliation, you can point things out to somebody. You can have what is called a caucus, where you call one party into a meeting and you try to counsel them or point certain things out to them. So that we do have a lot of matters that are resolved this way. And if it cannot be resolved, if it's not resolved at conciliation, the complainant has the option of saying, I would like it to take it further. It's not mandatory that they do, because they can decide that perhaps I don't have the resources to hire an attorney, or I don't wish to go through this lengthy court process for another 2 years or however long. Court processes are not overnight processes, but they are by their nature. It takes a bit of time. But if they are interested, then we can refer the matter to the Equal Opportunity Tribunal, which, as I said, is a court chaired by a judge who would hear and determine the matter using the standards by which matters are heard and determined.
And, in the Tobago context, I know that the office is reopening in Tobago, and you gave us some information before. Could you please remind our viewers of the days that you are in Tobago for them to lodge their complaints, how they lodge their complaints as well? And one thing I also wanted to find out was, how long does it take for a response to come when someone lodges a complaint with the commission?
Okay. Yes. Well, to repeat, we are in Tobago on we are supposed to be on the third Friday of every month at the Division of Health and Wellness on Montessori Drive. So you can come in normally from around 10 a.m. You're free to come in. Any member of the public is free to come in if they want to ask, just simply to ask for information, or if they want to lodge a complaint or just find out more. But again, we always say, please check social media, because sometimes, depending on the time of year, And then because we're a public body, we're subject to releases from the Ministry of Finance, and if it's end of financial year, and you know these sorts of things, we have experienced challenges now and again procuring plane tickets. It is what it is, as they say. Now, if you lodge a complaint, in terms of getting a response, we try to act as quickly as possible. In recent times, because we were short-staffed for a bit, there was a lag in response time, so it might have taken perhaps sometimes a month or two before we got in touch with you. But now we're moving a lot quicker than before, so that you should receive at least initial contact from us within a few weeks of lodging the complaint.
We really want to thank you so much for coming on this morning and giving us that measure of insight. I'm not sure all our viewers had that type of information that you gave this morning and that breakdown. So I do hope that we will be accessing the services and partnering with you to ensure that we kind of understand what discrimination is, and that resolve can come from clients who lodge complaints with the Commission. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and enlightening all of us here on this program.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Mr. Haran Ramkaran Singh. He is the Director of Legal Services at the Equal Opportunity Commission, bringing us that information there. So, of course, you can check their social media pages for more information if you want to lodge a complaint. Before we go for a break, remember, we have the photo of the day. The photo of the day is up next. The photo of the day, can you guess where this photo was taken? Can you guess where this photo was taken? I'm sure you can. This photo was sent in by Royce Douglas. We thank you so much for sending in this photo. When we come back after the break, we're hoping that you're able to tell us where this photo was taken. In the meantime, we go for a break, and as we go, we invite you to help us share the live,
share the live, share the live.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We're just about 7:46 a.m. So, of course, if you're getting yourself to work and the children to school for 8, you have to get there quickly. But remember to drive safely on our nation's roads. I'm talking about driving safely on our nation's roads. In studio with us, we have Inspector Caitlin Sterling of the TTPS to bring our crime updates and also to have a very interesting conversation with us this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana, and good morning to our listening viewers.
Of course, it's always a pleasure having TTPS in studio with us as we get the information, the details about things happening on the island of Tobago. And what a weekend. What a weekend on the island. We saw so many road traffic accidents, and then we saw an incident taking place in the Speyside area. Can you give us some details as to what transpired there?
So, Adana, over the weekend we had a lot of road traffic accidents, as you can see. Roads were wet and persons did not take the time on the road. However, we have serious RTA, we have persons hospitalized, and we with the family and hope that these persons get well soon. However, we are asking drivers to take care on the roadway. We are having way too many accidents, serious accidents. So the road is wet, take our time on the road. We have to reach home safe and get to our destination safely. Over the weekend, we had a wounding at the Speyside Shadowfield district. I cannot say much about it because it's actively under investigation. However, we have persons warded and someone in custody in relation to this wounding.
Sweet Tobago, Sweet Tobago. We need to get back to Sweet Tobago. And, I want to join with you in, admonishing our drivers, even whether the roads are wet or they are dry, that we pay attention and ensure that we drive safely on our nation's roads. There's so many times that you try to kind of overtake somebody and you're just driving recklessly because you want to get someplace real fast, and I don't understand the need for speed. And so I just want to say to our drivers on the outside, ensure that you drive safely. Now we have this very, very interesting topic, and it's community partnerships with the TTPS, right? Talk us through exactly what community partnerships mean and who are you going to be partnering with, and what we could kind of expect coming out of this partnership.
So the community partnership is one of our strategic pillars of the TTPS 2025-2027 strategic goals. And we started off with a bang with the police sports over the weekend in Trinidad, where that is a great example of community partnership, where the community partner with the police with our sports day at the police barracks, where family members, each and everyone were invited and partake in that sports. We had 3 events like road races and where children were also involved, civilians were also involved, and that created a great bond between the public and the police. So we're looking at community partnership. What really community partnership is about? Trust, gaining trust through the police, mutual respect, understanding each other, and transparency in problem solving. So that's basically what community partnership is all about.
So is it basically about like socialization, social events, including communities in activities and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we have a lot of community outreach programs that involve both police and the community. So we have what we call the station council meetings that involve the community coming, having meetings with the police, giving their views, how to deal with crime. So that community-based meeting involves each facet of the community. We have the teachers, we have the ministers, we have the doctors, we have the pastors. Everybody come together and they give the police ideas on how to police their area. So with that, we can get more effective policing and able to treat crime more effectively.
So this comes is kind of in tandem with if you see something, say something, so that you have the persons within the community kind of understand the culture of the area, kind of, standing as an advisor to the police.
Yes, we do. Because, for instance, in the sugar industry, we have we form a group, Bethel. We form a group with community of Black Rock, Friends of Black Rock. Now that group involves all the key aspects, all the key players in the Black Rock community. What we had a walkabout with these people, and we were actually listening to what the community. So it's like, I don't know, you from Scarborough, we went with you. You engage the persons in the community because they feel more, they could relate to you more than the police. And in doing that, we gain the trust of persons. We enter in the school where we have programs with the children, identify what problems they have, bringing NGOs from outside come into the schools to assist the children that I need. So we have a lot of these organizations and we come in together to have better relationship, build trust. We're talking about transparency. We always have that the police, they don't trust the police. They make reports against police bullying persons, they make reports. So we want to have these processes that are transparent. So we have the Police Complaints Authority and we have the police complaints situated at Crown Point Police Station. And if you feel that you would not treat it fairly, maybe just making a report and police officers not following up or giving you feedback, or you think they treated you unjustly, we have the Police Complaints Authority, which is separate and apart to the TTPS, and we have the police complaints, which is within the TTPS. So you can make your report and get feedback and get justice. So in doing this, we build a trust so persons will know, well, we are transparent, and they will come and give us ideas and help us so that we could, as you say, if we see something, say something, make a better TTPS and a better community.
And you spoke earlier about the different activities that the TTPS will engage communities in, like sporting activities, social activities. And I know you had a series of town hall meetings, especially at the end of last year into this year, especially when we saw the crime rate kind of increasing on the island. Do you intend to continue that, and do you intend to engage with different groups within communities to ensure they have a voice in that space as well?
Well, that is mandated by the TTPS. We're supposed to have a station council meeting once per month, walk about within the communities, reaching the persons talking, and that is ongoing. That is a regular ongoing. We have community meetings where we go to the communities and, we talk to the communities. They give us their ideas on how they think the TTPS could solve a crime. So that is an ongoing program that is happening within the TTPS, also the Tobago division. Within the TTPS, Tobago division, we have the group called ROC, Reaching Communities through Sports. And that was originated from our senior soup, Eli, and other stakeholders in the division, where we go into the communities and we have seminars, sports seminars with the youths of the community, trying to reach them so we could break down crime within the communities. And it's working because they're going from community to community. We even had where we had the football team from Trinidad coming to Tobago to play the police football team at Shore Park. And then we have the kids
the groups come in and, you know, we playing games, they playing games. We have a police team who go into the communities and play different communities. So we breaching the gap there, you know, able to show our presence also in a different form and build trust so persons could feel free to come to us and talk, because we come right down to the level where we are one under one playing field.
And are you getting, you know, it sounds very exciting, and I could see that you're passionate about this, ensuring that you kind of bridge that gap, ensuring one, the trust again, communities trusting police, and of course police extending their arm to have that type of relationship. Can you say that you have been getting positive feedback? Are you getting the buy-in from communities? Are you seeing different groups and organizations within communities coming on board with you and agreeing with you that this is what we want to do and this is how we want to move forward?
Yes, we are seeing it, and we can see the reflection in the crime statistics in Tobago, because we having a decrease in crime, and that is a result of us going into the communities and talking to the young people and having them engage in meaningful activities. So, you know, the focus shift from crime and it shift more to community work and organizing and going out there and actually fusing everything together. Yes, we still have the crime, the property crime, but we see we have a decrease, so which means it is working. And you know, we want the continued support of the community as we go out there and try to bridge the gap and decrease crime and criminality in Tobago.
And if like a community group has an idea that has not been raised by the TTPS, you haven't gone into the community with this specific idea, and I'm from a specific area and I think that this would work here, can that group come into the TTPS or and to raise the idea, to have a conversation? And if so, which branch do they go to and how do they make that type of arrangement?
So we have, that can be done. And that is excellent. That's what we want. We want persons coming in with ideas so that we could work with their community. And you could go to any police station within your community. So if the idea maybe is Roxborough, you could go into the Roxborough police station and speak to the inspector there, or wherever district it is, you can go. You can even go to the senior soup and give your idea, and then it will reach down to the station itself. And within, well, the Shervan Road Police Station and the Scarborough Police Station, we have the community police unit. And that's where they can go and speak to the SU in charge of the police community and get the idea across. We sit down, we have meetings, and we do our best and make it happen, you know.
Sounds really, really good. And I really do hope, I mean, I know all stakeholders need to get involved in fighting crime and providing alternatives, because sometimes we talk about the young people getting into mischief, or even some older folks, you know, they get themselves in on the wrong side of the law. But what are the alternatives? And I see the TTPS now coming with these initiatives, providing an alternative, at least if even for an hour a day or half an hour, once a week, once a month, where there's something that communities can look forward to prepare for. For instance, the Sports and Family Day, you know, it wouldn't take one day to prepare for a Sports and Family Day. So you're engaging them for a period of time to be involved in something like that. And is that the kind of idea and the concept that you
And that's what we're saying, is a continuation, a continuity. So, you know, we start and we keep going and we go in and we go in. So it's not a one-shop situation that, hey, we have a sports today and that's the end of it. And as we say, it takes planning. So at every stage we are engaging the community. So we actually give them the work to do the planning, and they come to us with the idea, and then we put our piece into it, and then it comes together as one. So these are programs that we are continuing, and these are ways that we are looking to bridge the gap with crime, and that's one of our strategic pillars, and that's why we're focusing on community partnership.
And you know, in closing, is there any additional information you'd like to share with our viewers this morning?
Well, you know, we've seen property crimes on increase, that is break-ins, burglaries, larceny in dwelling houses. So we're asking homeowners and business owners to, you know, secure your property, do checks, have cameras, be aware of what's happening, and, you know, to ensure that we have continual decrease in the crime in Tobago.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We've been speaking with Inspector Caitlin Sterling of the TTPS, bringing the crime updates and also talking about community partnership and how you can join in the fight against crime right here on the island of Tobago. What better way than to join forces so that we can ensure that our communities and our areas where we live in are safe, so that our children can even be in the yard playing and we feel comfortable about that as well. Before we go, we have to remind you of the photo of the day. The photo of the day, were you able to guess where the photo of the day was taken? I'm sure it's the iconic, somebody finish a sentence for me, the iconic, yes, this is Store Bay. This is Store Bay Beach, the iconic Store Bay Beach, and we want to thank Royce Douglas for submitting that photo for us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you have an awesome day today. This is where we end the morning show, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, and as we go, we invite you to stay with us, and as you stay, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Celebrating anniversaries is important to fostering connections and acknowledging growth and shared experiences, as well as setting a foundation for future goals and aspirations. Around the region, they are known as the leading disaster management agency. Here in Tobago, we call them TIMA, and they recently celebrated their 27th anniversary. One activity was a health and wellness day.
We are accustomed doing stuff like this with every institution that require our service. Here today we are here to assist with the staff of TIMA in ensuring that they maintain their health and the importance of health, importance of knowing your numbers in terms of your blood pressure, your sugar, your weight, your BMI, to make sure it is in line with your height and your weight. The importance of checking your blood pressure is to ensure that you don't end up with stuff like a diagnosis with like heart attack or stroke. Also, that could also help us to send you also to the health center to do blood testing for stuff like your cholesterol and other blood work, so that we could determine if you are newly diagnosed or if you have been seen about your health. So we have the blood pressure testing, we have the sugar testing, we have the dietitians here who will do your weight, your BMI, and tell you how much body fat there is. We also have dental here to take care of the mouth, which is also important because of the bacteria and stuff that can cause different diseases to your organs and stuff like that.
TIMA workers share their love, experiences, and appreciation for their job.
Today for the staff, we are having a health and wellness program to commemorate our 27th year anniversary here at TIMA.
I am the GIS specialist at TIMA, so that's the Geographic Information System person. We deal with mapping as well as evacuation routes, evacuation maps, data elevation models, risk assessments, etc. I'm also attached to the planning department, so we do a lot of analysis as well as gap analysis as well as reports. So we basically are the brains somewhat of the organization. For me, my time here during this period would have been very great for me. Would have been able to respond to the oil spill as well as Tropical Storm Karen as well as other emergencies. This would have given you a lot of knowledge as well as wisdom in terms of how natural disasters actually operate, because reading about it is one thing, but actually being able to assist persons as well as to respond to it is something different. So it comes like you learn the theory and then have to do the practical aspect of it. Life here is really great. It's a family environment. Yes, we may have our disagreements, but it's a high pressure environment, but we always have the ability to bounce back from or whatever would have impacted us, and that shows a lot of resilience within the organization. So cheers to 27 years.
TEMA's mission is to coordinate a network of agencies and individuals within the island of Tobago to direct their efforts to maximize preservation of life and the protection of the property in times of disaster.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. A lineman's Speyside turned violent when Alan Taylor, 49, allegedly stabbed two men following a series of escalating confrontations. Police reports stated that Taylor of Main Road Speyside was initially slapped by a man known as Liebeck. After retaliating, Taylor was later attacked with bottles by Aloy and Dallon Crooks. Armed with a knife, Taylor allegedly stabbed Dallon under his left armpit and Aloy in his abdomen. Both victims were stabilized at the Roxborough Hospital, then transferred to the Scarborough General. Taylor is currently detained at the Roxborough Police Station, with police continuing their investigations. Additionally, Police Commissioner Erla Harewood Christopher can return to duty after the DPP found no evidence of criminal probe into her role in the importation of sniper rifles for the Strategic Services Task Agency. Has concluded with no charges recommended. The suspension imposed in February must now be lifted for her to serve the final days of her term, which ends on May 14th. The High Court will rule on the suspension's validity today. The investigation also involved retired SSA head Roger Bess, who remains under scrutiny for unrelated matters. Investigators faced internal resistance, with some officers refusing to cooperate and one team member allegedly persuading witnesses. And finally, effective May 12, 2025, Trinidad and Tobago nationals must now obtain a visa to enter or transit through Ireland, aligning Ireland's policy with the UK. The government of Ireland's Department of Justice made the announcement on May 9th. The Irish Department of Justice announced transitional provisions for emergency travel until May 31st for those with bookings made before May 12th. Acceptable reasons include medical emergencies, significant family events, education, employment, or business. Supporting documents are required and and a request must be sent to becoming visa required at justice.ie. And that is becoming visa required at justice.ie. The Ministry for Justice, the Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, and the Minister of State and Migration, Colm Brohamby, stated that the change enhances border security and aligns with Ireland's evolving immigration control. And that was on news in 90 seconds. Guys, this morning we are still talking a bit on politics, and that a post-election debrief that we started since the election ended. This morning we have the opportunity to chat with the chairman of the Tobago People's Party. This morning I have the privilege of sitting in studio with Ms. Anne Natasha Second. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning, all of Tobago and everybody viewing.
Excellent. Now, we have been having a series of conversations with stakeholders, politicians, and you name it. Any concerned citizen that is interested in, that dialogue as it relates to where do we go from here, with that 2025 general election result that saw a major transition of power away from the People's National Movement at the national level and into the hands of the United National Congress. But a transition also took place here on the island of Tobago as well, one that was quite unexpected for many and expected for others. We saw power shifting from the People's National Movement, who had traditionally had those two Tobago seats, Tobago East, Tobago West, now being handed over to your party, the
Yes.
Tobago People's Party. And so even as we start off this morning's discussion, what does that mean for the party and what does that mean for Tobago?
Right. Excellent question. We are custodians of the members of parliament on behalf of the people of Tobago. So we are very, very proud, we're very pleased that Tobagonians would have heard the message, they would have bought into it, and they would have supported the cry for Tobago to no longer be disrespected at a macro political level. So we are very excited about the positioning of the Tobago People's Party, but also of Tobago. Right now we are at a very interesting position in history. We have a government that appears to, for all intents and purposes, be in full support of the growth and development of the people of Tobago. So we expect that to reflect in policy. We expect that to reflect in a number of voices we have on state boards, national policy positions, etc. We expect to participate fully in governance. That's what it means ultimately.
So how do you respond to the person saying, because the TPP is not aligned, says that it's not aligned to the current government, nor is it aligned to the opposition, that there really is little to no impact that would take place at the parliamentary level if none of these members are part of the cabinet?
Right. Now, you have to look at the pros and cons within the political structures of relationships. If we are partnering and we are part of the cabinet, then we would align with the cabinet in all ways, good and bad. And if things go south for the government, it would also go south for our party. So it's a politically astute position to remain with our identity, one. Two, the fact that at the swearing in of the Prime Minister, where she would have positioned, she and her protocol team would have positioned our Chief Secretary next to the Attorney General, and the fact that he was part of the whole protocol observation indicates that there is a strong intention on the part of the government to support Tobago and to hear Tobago. So it's no longer a condition where we're going to be speaking rah-rah and things that people do not understand. It's a position where we're going to be sitting as equals on the table. It's a very powerful position to maintain your independent voice because you do participate. And I think this is where the problem lies in people's minds. They think that the members of parliament will not be able to speak in parliament and will not be able to join committees and so on, but that is not true. They are members of parliament, so they will have the opportunities and the occasions to speak, and they will have a more powerful opportunity to continue to build our young party. So it actually is a win-win situation.
Right. And even as it pertains to the possibility, like we saw the last time the UNC was in power, led by the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. At that time, there was that Ministry of Tobago Development. And a lot of persons were asking, well, how come she didn't bring an offer like this to the table? Or if she did, why didn't this administration take advantage of a possible opportunity for over 200 jobs to come to Tobago as it pertains to building a new ministry and a new department? How does the party respond to that?
One, we will have opportunities to hire hundreds of persons because of the better relationship that we would have with government. We just escaped from a government that was deliberately stifling Tobago. There are over 3,800 vacancies at state level boards that Tobagonians can now have access to. We were deliberately and targetedly attacked under the PNM regime before, so we were stifled. We will now have the opportunity to function, Tobagonians, whether they are in the diaspora or they live here, to function at the governmental level at various positions. So we haven't lost anything. Politics is very dynamic. A day in the life of a politician could be like a year for regular persons. Anything could happen in the future. But for right now, we are embracing this position because we're playing chess, not checkers.
Understood. And even as it pertained to that press conference that we saw last week, that post-cabinet media brief that came from the Prime Minister and her cabinet, we heard about the large financial deficit that the previous administration would have left for this new administration to inherit. And with that being said, do you think, based on the fact that there's such a large debt lingering, that Tobago can truly benefit from an increased allocation within such a short period of time?
Well, we are approaching the mid-year review right now, so all things will become clear then. The government is a majority government, and there are a number of intellectuals both in government and within our citizenry. So there will be active pursuit of production and making money for the country, finding sources of funding. There will be efforts both by our finance secretary and by the Ministry of Finance to meet and to chart the course with consultations with the people. So I'm not too worried about that. There is always a perspective that whatever the problems are, you manage them and you do well. So I'm very hopeful that in truth and in fact, at the mid-year review, based on the various attempts by all of the stakeholders, we will be able to see significant improvements for Tobago, including increased allocations.
Right. And what are some other areas that you would like to see, or the party is negotiating or leaning towards seeing an improvement in? You know, the allocation is one. You said that we have heard from the deputy political leader, Dr. Faith B. Israel, that the Tobago Autonomy Bill is number one. What are some other areas that you are seeking to see that immediate change or improvement?
Participation at all levels, and understanding that there has always been a role for Tobagonians and there's always been the opportunity there. We simply have not been aware of them. So I would like, and the party would like, to see our persons fully cognizant of their particular power and their individual roles. We want them to know what opportunities exist. I keep mentioning opportunities to serve at state boards. You have to have certain skills, certain experiences, and awareness. So you want to be aware of the opportunities that are coming. When the parliament opens, we as a party will be encouraging all the arms of the party, encouraging all of Tobago to participate. The finance secretary, currently, as they prepare for the budget and so on, they have invited the public to share what they want to see, how they want to see our money spent when we get our allocation. Participation for me would be the thing that I would like to see at the school level, at the post-tertiary level, at the civil level. Persons in Tobago understanding what opportunities exist, not wasting this opportunity, getting yourselves ready, and participating fully.
Right. And, I want to shift gears a bit to more party focused for you. Last week I had a conversation with the leader of the Tobago People's National Movement Council, Mr. Ansel Dennis, and one of the things that they are doing is going back out into the community after that last election and chatting with some of their members and their followers. Do you think that this is also important for the TPP, although that you just came out of a win? Do you think it's also important for you to go back into the community as well and have that level of dialogue and conversation?
Definitely. You never take it for granted that the people have spoken and that they want something better and they want to participate. So our Women's Council executive meets tomorrow. We have had meetings of our action groups. Our constitution empowers our action groups. They actually have the greatest say in our party. So I want to encourage persons, and our party wants to encourage persons to come. We are currently doing an amped up mobilization process. This week, we're going to look at saying thank you to the people. And in saying thank you, we are also going to be mobilizing. So on Saturday, this Saturday, we're looking forward to a Thanksgiving, and you'll have more information on that as the week ends. And on Sunday, we do all the traditional little victory cake. We go around and we say thank you, and everybody participates. Beyond that, we are actively going to be raising funds. So we're going to have a massive breakfast sale on Friday, the 23rd of May at the Shopak Food Hub. More on that as we go along, where all of the action groups participate. Each group gets together, they organize the food and so on, and so we are mobilizing. Beyond that, we're going to do a couple of raffles. Small one, third place your microwave, second place your iron, and first place your fridge. And then we're going to have a big one where we culminate with our first place prize of our vehicle. So we're going to look to raise funds because elections are expensive undertakings. And we want to have some fun together. We want to build. We did endure quite a lot, changing from one political party to the other. There was a lot of novelty in some areas, and we did more than survive. We were able to attract the population, and so we want to continue to grow every single arm of our party. So our Women's Council meets tomorrow. Saturday we have our Thanksgiving ceremony, and then we do the Victory Cade on Sunday, and we're looking forward to everybody participating in the fundraising exercises.
Right, and even as these activities are taking place over the weekend, are these also, are you incorporating a membership drive into that? So would you be taking on new members? Because we know everybody likes a victory. Persons love to come out and celebrate, even persons who may not have voted for you would be there to celebrate your victory. So I am guessing you would also be recruiting new members during that drive.
Yes, and just remind persons you can become a member of the party from age 15, and you can participate at different levels. We have, like I mentioned, a Women's Council, Men's Council, Youth Council. We also have a number of committees. We have our Welfare Committee that is looking particularly at helping persons improve their socioeconomic status, give them training in terms of their financial education, things like that. And so we are looking to increase our membership base, the diversity of our party, and everyone is welcome.
All right. And lastly, before we go to the break, we saw that your following, or even your appeal, your political appeal during that last election as it pertains to the results, increased in the eastern side of the island. However, there were areas or polling stations where You had previously won in the THA election,
Mhm.
but the support has dwindled. How is the party reconciling this in Tobago West?
Right. So we won't go into the details of our strategy or political strategy, but like all other political organizations, we are going through over the next few weeks, maybe about 6 weeks or so, all of the analytics behind it. We're looking at the numbers themselves. We're going out and we're asking people, reaching out to people, you tell us, did you vote? Why didn't you vote? You know, what could we have done better? What could we have done that would have appealed to you more as a voter? And so we're going to gather that kind of information and we're going to adjust accordingly, because it is in the intention for our political party to continue to be that mechanism of power for Tobago. So we need persons to understand, to participate, and we all go out together as stakeholders for our island.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break here and we'll be back as we continue with lots more conversation. See you soon.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The end. I beating road. We beating road. I beating road. We beating road. When the spirit it, I beating road. When the spirit it, I beating road. What to do? Let me see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm overheated. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm over.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, I have been chatting with the chairman of the Tobago People's Party, Mrs. Natasha Second. Good morning and welcome back. So we were talking a bit about that general election and those results. What does that mean for Tobago? What does that mean for the Tobago People's Party and your impact and influence at the parliamentary level? And we're shifting gears a bit to that Tobago House of Assembly election now. We know that that is due to happen very soon. Actually, some persons predict around April of 2026. We're not sure of the date as yet, but the Chief Secretary made it clear that the House of Assembly automatically dissolves when that time is up, and we know that the election took place in December of 2021. So anytime around there, an announcement can be made for when the election is, which is due constitutionally 2 months.
Yes.
2 months after the announcement is made. So as it pertains to preparing for that THA election, how is that going at the TPP?
Right. So we do have our assemblymen on the ground, staying close to the ground, getting feedback, etc. The party proper, the executive, etc. We are also reaching out to persons, so we have our different activities that will help us to know what is the true feeling on the ground. We also manage the Tobago House of Assembly, so we have a number of larger scale projects that we want to conclude. There are 44 priority areas that we want to ensure that we deliver at a high standard to the people of Tobago, which is again why we're looking forward to positive feedback from the mid-year review. We are also reaching out for persons to communicate how they feel we have been going at every single level of governance. The political entity is in the business of preparing persons to serve. So whether you're serving within the party at different arms, or you have the opportunity to serve on a board, or to work in whatever technical capacity in your division, you should be able and be exposed to various methods and mechanisms for governance. So we would like persons to continue to prepare themselves. Action groups get to nominate who would be serving as an assemblyman at that level of governance, and all of us get to participate in terms of deciding who serves. So we want people to continue to take part in all of the activities so that we can see their qualities and how they interact with the people. Above all, apart from your qualifications, whether they're academic or otherwise, your disposition towards people matters. How you treat your constituents, how you treat your whoever has to work with you, that matters to the party.
And how does the selection of candidates work within the TPP's constitution? Is it that candidates will go before a screening committee, or is it the combined party groups within an area that chooses their representative?
So nominations would come from the various party levels and so on, party group levels. And you will have a screening committee that's made up of your peers to examine, your both your disposition and your experience. And it's a sort of internal competition that will allow one to become selected for the opportunity. But above all, disposition. How you treat people and how people anticipate that you will work with them going forward. Because our intention is to be a sustainable and successful organization for a very long time to come.
How important is the inclusion of youth in the TPP's mandates and management?
Extremely important. If you looked at our campaign, we had a number of young people. Some of them were music artists. Some of them spoke at the platforms. We had a young AMPLIA holder, for instance, speaking, I believe it was at the Roxborough meeting. Brilliant. And we encourage them to participate because it is, in terms of longevity, looking at who will continue our organization long after we are gone. The idea is to have Tobago develop and continue this movement. And we want everybody to feel that they are welcome, everybody to feel that they can live up to their full potential, in the organization, but we also want people to understand the mechanisms of power. You don't just assume that one person or two people have all the authority in the organization. You learn, you read our constitution, you understand how you can participate properly, and you understand how your potential can be realized. So there's a little bit of it in your hands that you have to pursue your opportunities through the party. But the structure facilitates inclusion and growth for young people, for everyone.
Excellent. Even as you are remobilizing for the lead up to that THA election, I believe that the People's National Movement is preempting that it is possible for an early THA election to be called. Do you see anything like that happening?
There's no need. We are in government, and we do have particular projects, priority projects that we want to complete. In education, we have the Community Impact Project that is supposed to transform what has happened in terms of education over the 21 years that the PNM was in power. We have other initiatives to do with special needs, improving persons' ability to be transported across the island smoothly, the expansion of the road system from the Chevron to connect it to the airport area. Tourism, being able to attract persons locally and internationally, revising how people travel to the island and how students can travel in between the island. So we have things that we have to do. The Fix-It crew is still in the business of fixing. So we want to conclude our term. We don't want to be cocky and behave as though we have it in the bag and jump ahead. No, we're going to take our time, be steady. Steadiness has worked for us, and we're going to continue to be steady and mature and be very, very patient.
As you mentioned the students traveling between the islands, what are some of the ideas as it pertains to making that more effective?
We have to have the ability to communicate and respect. Those who have the opportunity now to serve on the Caribbean Airlines board must have a Tobagonian perspective. They must understand our positioning. And like I said, and I keep saying, there should be a voice from Tobago on every state board. So our position will be clear. And if you're going to work hand in hand with us, you must revise what you've been doing. You must extend the hours. You must look strategically at the numbers, the foot traffic and so on. You have to hear us and facilitate us as the clients, your domestic clients on the island. So I believe it starts with who you put on the table and the kind of conversations that you're willing to have. And we want to see immediate transformations in policy. Extended hours, being able to liaise in the peak season in terms of who we can transport and how many of us can be transported, and increase in the number of flights that come to the island, both domestic and international. Proper conversations.
Right. And even as we round up our discussions this morning, I want you to reiterate to the viewers watching and some of your members and supporters all that would be happening this weekend.
Right. So our organization is in the business of saying thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for taking your time to participate in the process of governance. Thank you for coming out to the polls. So on Saturday, we're going to have a Thanksgiving service to say thank you to our God for the energy and the strength to bring us to where we are today. And on Sunday, we're going to do our Victory Cade, thank you Cade, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go across the island and just visibly say thank you to everyone. So we're looking forward to your participation, and we want to invite you to join our movement to participate at all levels. From age 15, you're welcome. Get your training, get involved, read your constitution, understand your own power position.
Right, and you indicated that there would be a raffle. So is that just for the members of the party, or is that open to the general public, and how can persons participate?
General public. So we have an office at the Port Mall, 3rd floor of the Port Mall. You cannot miss it. It's fully branded, and we are going to roll out first a smaller scale raffle with smaller items, fridge, microwave, etc. And then we are ultimately going to be raffling our car. So everybody will be able to participate. All of the action groups will have books to sell, and everybody can participate.
Excellent. We want to thank you so much for your time this morning and being present to have this discussion with me. And again, wishing you and your party all the best in the upcoming THA election, right? Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back right after this. So see you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starts.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest. We protect. Everyone benefits.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but my cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and Edward people them, you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russell Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and this morning we continue our discussion by chatting with Mr. Don Grant, who is the executive producer of that TFC7. We are talking about the Tobago Fashion Coda. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, Chanel, thank you for having me. Good morning. Let me say good morning to all your viewers and listeners and all the people out there in cyber world.
Right. And so Tobago Fashion Coda has been happening for some time now, and we are in the 7th year of its production.
Well, the 7th edition. Actually, because we had taken a break after COVID, and we're coming back. We are returning with a bang, bigger, better, at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort on the 31st of May, Saturday, this coming month end, the Indian Arrival Day month end. And we're looking forward to having a great show. Finally, we were able to merge the islands together through fashion. We have 4 Tobago designers, 4 designers from Trinidad. So we feel that we have a great fashion show in itself. But Tobago Fashion Code is not just fashion. I gotta tell you, it's 5 disciplines. There's fashion, art, music, entertainment, and of course the fantastic cuisine of the Magdalena Grand. It's all inclusive. It's a premium event, yes. And we're looking forward to putting the very best foot forward and put Tobago first and show what the best of Tobago has to offer.
Well, and I must say that from my experience, Tobagoans really do love a good fashion show, and we love a good all-inclusive event. So we look forward to that fashion coda, and there is that merging of the culinary art as a part of that. You have the music and everything else that makes Fashion Coda that show of the year for Tobago. What can persons really expect as they come to the event?
Well, a lot. As you come into the event, we are going to have a steel band, Buccaneers, and I see Buccaneers will be welcoming you. We have Moko Jumbies in the area of the greens, because the show this year has been changed. Actually, it's in the Calibri Ballroom. Usually the show is poolside, but because of the Magdalena restrictions, they decided to bring it out, move it around, I should say, and bring the actual fashion show inside the ballroom. Okay, great. You know, a bit more constrained, but it's indoors, so it's a controlled environment, and we could do more with that, right? But the amount of people is less. hence the reason I'm suggesting that you get your tickets very early because the event will be sold out. But yeah, so as you walk into the entrance alongside the ballroom, you would be on a 100-foot red carpet that sure people like your good self would be interviewing people because Tobago Bits will in fact have a live station, you know. So just like at the Oscars or the Emmys or the Grammys, you get a chance to walk the red carpet, and you better come correct, come dressed. Listen, best dressed male and female is getting an iPhone. B-Mobile, they are sponsoring 2 top-of-the-line iPhones, and we also have a package from a sponsor, the Jolly Beach Hotel in Antigua, 3 nights free. I mean, it's all-inclusive. It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the Jolly Beach in Antigua. So you have to come dressed to impress because the competition is going to be stiff.
Well, we look forward to putting our best foot forward. And if I know my people, I know they know how to step out. And
Yes,
so we
indeed.
look forward to celebrating that Tobago Fashion Coda 7. Now, again, guys, this is happening on Saturday, the 31st of May. And this would take place from 5 p.m. to midnight.
Correct.
Is there sort of an after drinks, cocktail, mingling session after the fashion show, or is it fashion all night long?
No, it's fashion, and then there's an after party. We go out on the greens. So I was saying we inside the ballroom. After we go out on the greens, where you will be fed, of course, we have 5 actual food stations, an Asian station, Tobagonian station. We have a South American station, and of course, we would be doing Indian cuisine. It's Indian Arrival Day weekend, and we grilling 3 pigs out on the beach and blue food and having a time in terms of the, you know, the food is going to be fantastic, and of course the premium drinks that we're having. Entertainment, like I said, Truvini is booked. The band, the biggest crossover band, they're there. Nival Tate Lal is also coming with the Shiv Shakti dancers to bring the Indian element. You know, it's very important that, you know, we are a multicultural society here, and we now have an Indo-African crossover mix that works well. So
Excellent. And we expect to see, as you said, 4 designers from Trinidad and 4 designers from Tobago, and we see designers such as Claudia Pigas, Darian Phillip.
Correct.
We have Ecliffe Eli.
Yes.
We have Euphoric Design from Tobago.
yes.
We have Fluorescent Black, that's from Tobago.
Yeah.
We have Neha Karina.
Neha Karina, yes. She's bringing the Indo aspect to the show, yeah.
Okay, and then we have Nedra Waldron, who is from Tobago
Yes,
as well.
excellent designer.
Ted Atta, another designer from Tobago.
Oh, excellent other
Then we
craftsman.
have Zad and Eastman.
Correct. They're from Trinidad. They do a great show as well. So we have a show. We have a fashion show, I got to tell you. It's of the very best. And we're streaming live to the world. So you can stay in London, you can stay in Paris, stay in New York, and see the show. You can send a link to all your designers, your buyers internationally, and they can see your latest collection right here in Tobago at Tobago Fashion Coda.
Right, and you have
Magdalena
some
Grand.
big designer names here. So we
Yes.
expect to see a real showing. So we are expecting persons to come early so
Correct.
that they do not miss any of it.
Yeah.
So tell us where persons can get tickets for the event.
Yes, well, tickets can be gotten here in Tobago at Barcode, Renmars, Fairways, also has tickets at Soleil at the Magdalena Grand. Yes, you also can get tickets on Island E-Tickets, and in Trinidad, of course, Claudia Pegas, she's at the Long Circular Mall. Neha Karina, she's at the Hilton. Blanix 212, all their stores. There are 4 locations, and in fact, Eclipse Eli, you can get your tickets as well. So
Ted Arthur.
Ted Arthur has tickets here in Tobago. So
As well as the Jade Monkey.
Jade Monkey, well, that's okay. So I'm so glad you reminded me, Chanel, because they're the after party. That's the official after party. We are going to go on to Jade Monkey and throw it down. So it's going to be a lot of fun, I must say.
Well, we look forward to that. We look forward to having a good time, and we look forward to Tobago Updates being one of your official partners for that Tobago Fashion Coda. We would be on the red carpet asking you who and what you're wearing tonight, right? And we look forward to having a fun, culture-filled evening. As you said, it's a crossover, allowing all cultures to be a part of that on that weekend. So tell us why it's so important for Tobagonians to come out and really support this and also get their tickets early.
Yes. Well, it's very important because of the cultural aspect that it offers. Like I said, there are 5 disciplines, and not everybody, Chanel, is going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a dentist, or even a pilot, you know. So it's important to support the arts. It's important to support the different aspects of the society. Listen, everything you're wearing, some designer had to sit down and conceptualize and draw a pattern and make it come to life, you know. And clothes is something that you are going to need new all the time. You have operas to attend, you have the ballet, you have plays, you have functions, you know. So you're going to need clothes, let's face the fact. And it's so important to see what these designers are putting out and to support the arts. It's very, very important.
Excellent. And we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. And we want to encourage all of Tobago, all of our viewers to come out and celebrate and be a part of that Tobago Fashion Coda 7 event that's happening. And you know that we like to step. You know, we know how to come out. So that's a night that you'll be able to put your best foot forward, and not for free, because B-Mobile is offering the best dressed male and female an iPhone.
Yes.
Who doesn't want that?
Talking about an iPhone. Well, I got to ask you, Chanel, would you be there? Would you be coming out?
I would, but now I have a serious task on my hand to find out what am I really going to wear.
Well,
I had the privilege of watching the MVC over the weekends, the African Awards, and looking at the fashion that came out of there. And
correct.
You know, we are bringing AVC level fashion as we come out.
Definitely.
So is there anything that you want to say to the viewers before we close out this morning?
But just come one, come all. Be sure to get your tickets early. This event is one that needs your support. We are going to, in fact, do another model casting because we need to get more Tobagonian models in the show. Let's face the fact, you know. And I always feel that there's some young Tobagonian model who is yet to be discovered, you know, and we're looking for you. We're looking for that fabulous face and that person who just needs a platform and encouragement to come out and stay in touch with the social media platforms, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, and you would see us to the date. It's going to be coming up next week at the Magdalena Grand. We're casting again.
Okay.
And
so if you are a model or you know a model, you can follow the page on Facebook, which is the Tobago Fashion Coda.
Correct. And note the date. And we will be making announcements as well to try and reach out to the public and see. And we offer the models training as well. So don't feel that
right, and that is for all ages, all body types, all variations will be represented there.
Yes, we opening it up now to the various body types because it's so very important to have people who are full size, let's say, figure women, feel a part of the fashion industry. You know, it's been a long time coming, I must say, and it's a movement that has taken off, and we're here to support that aspect.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you for being here, and we look forward to supporting the Tobago Fashion Coda 7. Guys, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and thank you for all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and have a great day. See you again tomorrow.
60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
CARICOM considers anti-terror laws. Guyana sets the example after unrest. Trinidad turns to Guyana.